All right, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whenever it is you want to tune in, hope everything's going well for you. As you can see, I I don't have my camera on right now. It's because I'm trying to get something set up. But in the meantime, I updated my profile picture because since everyone wanted to take it. So as I get set up, Daivon will join in just a moment. Let's talk about some of the people that are already here, like Jamarius 58 Gilliam and Jerry Bowie in the chat. We're gonna get some more people joining in soon. All right. So as you can see by the looks of the banner that I set up and by the title of the video, I have an idea. It's going to be a two-part series. All right. The first part is tonight. The next part is going to be next week, next Saturday. We're going to be splitting this up. So what does position tournament mean? How's it going, everybody? So I've had my whiteboard here for a while, and I decided I'm going to use it this time. So now that we got some more people here, I got Bubba Gump, got Joseph Thornton, CK22. Glad everyone's doing okay. Like I said, Daivon will be joining in just a moment. So let me explain what's going on here. I'm gonna need you guys' help because I've been getting a lot of requests recently in order to try to figure out like who to scout as far as the college players, and I wanted to figure out what position is worth more for our team at the moment. So me and Daivon, we try to do our best research as we can, and right now we're focusing on the offense. Now we got the nation tuning in. How's it going? Glad everyone is here to see what we're going down. So I'm going to be giving up a breakdown in just a second. But in the meantime, yeah, the Braves that came in. So let me take this off for a second. Keep them close so you can still hear me. Do a full rotation. It is in fact a snapback. So yeah, that's what it looks like on my head at least. It was originally going to tell me that it was going to show up like after Black Friday, so I'm glad it showed up at this time. So that's one good thing. All right, so let's get to talking. But first, let's get what everyone else wants to say. Nation says, "I hope we draft the running back in rounds 3 or 4." Like I said, this is what this whole thing is all about. Like I said, and I need as much participation as possible. Jamarius, you're saying you're all about the defense. Well, hey, we're going to need your help for next week. All right. But hey, this is also your chance to learn about everything that's going on for our offense. So that way you can get boosted up on both sides. So let's get into it. Here's on the offensive side of the ball. You have the quarterback, running back / fullback, wide receiver, tight end, left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. I'm pretty sure you already knew that. Over on the defensive side, we have the defensive ends, the defensive tackles, the nose tackles, the inside linebacker, outside linebacker, cornerback, defensive back, and safety. I'm not going to focus too much about the special teams right now because that is not my specialty. Joe Houston, how's it going? All right, so seems that he's got his priorities in check, but I am still uncertain. Nation saying, cool, can't neglect that running back position, especially if it's the key to Artie Smith's offense. This is important. This is all things to keep in mind, which is why I want to do this live instead of just like having this like a pre-recorded, edited video. I'm not good at those anyway, so that's why these are all lives. We're going to shrink this down eventually until it's just the top position in the middle. So when it gets closer, that describes the biggest need. And we're going to have to figure out these tough decisions because although we have draft picks to use, we don't have that kind of money around. All right, last time I checked, we had exactly like $1 million in cap space. Yeah. There, in terms of listed active players on the roster, there are 52. In terms of players responsible for causing dead cap money, there's 57. So that's a problem. I figured out that the dead cap on our salary is responsible for about 25% of our total spending money. The other 75% is everything that's available to us right now. And even then, you still got to worry about practice squad, people on the PUP list, people on the NFI list, people on the COVID list, all sorts of lists. So we're going to go and do a full breakdown, not just the starters, by the way. All right. I don't want to just touch on the starters. I want to talk about the whole room. All right. The whole quarterback room, the whole running back room, the whole wide receiver room, et cetera, et cetera. That way, we're not just talking about the starters. Over on the bottom, I have 3 different markers, and I decided to use all 4 of them because I bought them recently. So, over right here on the red, that means train. So what that means is for me is that could this be a position where we wouldn't have to spend any money, but rather we will let this position improve over time? You know, we're talking about the starters or we're talking about the depth positions, like the depth pieces. So I wanted to focus on that and then mark them down here. Over right here in the green is the free agency. Green equals money. So that would be the spending money that we'd have. So basically, if we wanted to focus on a particular free agent that is out and available in the off season, projecting all that kind of stuff right now is a little bit difficult. But we're going to try to make it work as much as we can. And then over here in the blue is the draft. So basically, we'll focus on these positions in the draft. There's a lot of needs, all right? But there's only so many solutions. I also want to do a 1 to 10 kind of scale as to how much we should worry about this position moving forward. So I'll give you an example about the quarterback position. The quarterback room, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would ask you guys, 1 being, hey, I don't have a single problem going on with that position. 10 being, oh my goodness, if we don't draft this position right now, we are going to be screwed. So that's kind of like the scale. All right. If you're uncertain, well, you don't have to comment. But if you're uncertain but have opinionated, you can just put down 5 or N/A or something like that. Lets me know that you're still tuning in. And then we're going to do this on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to meet together, and then that's when we discuss about either the first round pick or the top available free agent in that position, see which is better. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. How do you guys feel about this idea? It's one that I came up with. Wait for people to tune in. Can everyone see this right? I also want to make sure of that. And vote for the Pro Bowl. Please do it. AJ Terrell has an interception. All right, so he'll be easier to find. It's still going out in alphabetical order. Well, numerical order first in terms of interceptions, and then alphabetical order from there. So he's still going to find a. Okay, you guys can see it. Good. Everybody's good. All right. Well, I don't have these things like facing each other just yet. That's because I don't want it to be like, oh, hey, like what's more important, the quarterback or the running back position? I don't want to have to put you guys through that. So we're going to go individually, give them our own kind of thing. We don't have to worry about the colors right now. Right now, we're just going to have to worry about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are we worried about this position? All right. So On a scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling about the quarterback room? As I wait for your answers, I'm going to name the 4 quarterbacks that are in that room. Yes, there are 4, in case you forgot. At starter, we have Matt Ryan at backup. We have, speaking of backup.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Going all right. Let's fix this layout a little bit. See if this works. Does that work?
Okay, yeah, because you can see it.
How's everyone seeing it now? Because I know it's kind of close. I really can't zoom in any closer because of my setup, which is a little shoddy. Let's get everyone's thoughts in. Let's catch up with Daivon real quick. So this was the little thing that I made. I'm first telling everyone we're going to do it by positional needs. The red over here equals train, which means that we'll have to just like wait and develop this position and see how we feel about it. You know, basically like, hey, I don't want to have to spend any money on this position group.
Yeah.
Green, obviously money for the free agency. I know that you and I did our fair share of research on that for both offense and defense. And then the blue is going to be the draft, basically. If we can solve this position in the draft, we'll do that here. I don't have it bracketed like facing up each other because I don't want to have to go through a position where it's like, oh, hey, look, what's more valuable, the quarterback or the running back? Obviously, and then go from there. It's going to single out some positions pretty easily. Right now, everyone's answering 1 to 10. How much are they worried about the positional group? Oh. And we're talking about the whole quarterback room. All right, we're talking about everyone in that category. All right, so it's not just the starters; it's everyone that's involved. Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, scale like 1 meaning hey, I ain't gonna sweat it at all. We don't have to touch this thing. We can move on to something else. 10 being like, oh my goodness, if we don't draft this position or do something about it, we're screwed. So.
Okay.
So my first question to you and everyone else is scale of 1 to 10. How do we feel about our quarterback room?
Yeah, I'm not too worried, me personally. I think they're talking about extending Matt Ryan to free some cap space this offseason. So I think that room, our backups though, after seeing them throw back-to-back interceptions.
Right. So like I said, that's included. All right. We have Josh Rosen, Felipe Franks, AJ McCarron. You can't forget him. So as a whole, say
maybe a 5, maybe a 4 or 5.
4 or 5. All right. So as we're doing that, I want you to do me a favor. If you can track down like an average. So you're saying 5. So that's 1 vote for 5. King Kel has a 1 vote for 4. Jamarius has a 1 vote for 6. Alex Edwards gives you 2 votes for 6. Robert Bennett gives you 2 votes for 5. Daniel Connor gives you 2 votes for 4. So I think that might average out to about 5.
Yeah.
Real saying quarterback isn't a need and it's a weak quarterback draft. And then it doubles down and says a very weak quarterback draft. Bubba Gump also agrees. Jamarius is saying that we should probably either draft or free it. Okay, well, I need you to make a decision. All right, Alex is saying about 4, 5, 4, 5. You're still saying 6, 5, 4. All right, I'm going to do the average, and I'm going to say 5.
Okay.
I'm going to put that number right there. It's black. I know I don't have to use any colors right now because we're going to talk about that later. All right, obviously, the next positional group is the running back class. How are we feeling about our running back room, which currently consists of Cordero Patterson. I'm going to list him as a running back for now. Mike Davis. I really don't want to list him as a running back right now. Wayne Gallman. Quadri Allison, who's listed on the practice squad. Keith Smith. I'm pushing him in with the backs category. And then Caleb Huntley, who's still on our practice squad as well.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah,
fact, I didn't actually check this up completely, but I'm pretty sure Keith Smith got more rushing yards in the last game than Mike Davis.
Yep. That was
So take that for what you will. All right. Let's see what everyone's answers are. I love the responses so far. So Alex is over saying, okay, so now we're going to start with King Kill and go on from down below. All right, make sure to keep track of these averages because I feel like this one's going to go wild.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, King Kill got 1 vote for 8. Alex Edwards gives you 1 vote for 6. Joe Houston gives you 1 vote for 10. Daniel Connor asks, what if Matt Ryan has to leave after this year? I believe he does. He's got the option at the end of 2022. Okay. Right now, he really doesn't have that ability to just give up this season or at the end of this season. Unless if he retires, in which in that case, I don't know what completely happens to the money there. All right. Robert Bennett gives you 1 vote for 8. So that's 2 votes for 8.
2-8.
All right, Daniel, I'm trying to.
9.
Guys, just answer once, please. Daniel Connor gives you 1 vote for 9.
Okay.
Then King Kell corrected himself and said 9. So Bubba Gump said 7. And then Jamarius said 9. Daivon, what is your answer?
Yeah, I would say an 8.
8? What are we?
It seems to be because we got 2 8s, 1 6. Or yeah, 7. So our average is about 7.
Okay. I will put down a 7. All right, CK22. And what number is the defensive end? I just got here. Tune in next week and we'll focus on the defensive end. Right now, we're only going to be on here for about an hour. So I want to get on with this as much as we can. There's going to be some juicy things, and I want us to take time to digest everything we're going to talk about. So, all right. So anything from below CK22's comment, 1 to 10, the wide receiver group, which currently consists of Calvin Ridley, who's on the NFI list, non-football injury, Russell Gage, Olamide Zaccheaus, Christian Blake, Frank Darby. Hey, how you going? Tajay Sharp, Marvin Hall, who's on the practice squad, and Austin Trammell, who's also on our practice squad. So what's everyone thinking right here? Mad Mike Sports coming in with a whopping 10.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, boy.
A glaring need.
All right, so that's a 10. Daniel Carter saying a 10. Joe Houston saying an 8. Robert Bennett saying a 10. Man, we're getting perfect scores from the judges so far. King Kell's got a 9.
8.
Bubba Gump's got a 9. 4 is up, got a 10. How's it going? 4 is up. I haven't really seen you around, so nice of you to join us. Alex Edwards, he's got an 8. CK22's got a 9 with a ... Jamarius, all right. Jamarius also adds with the 10. Daivon, what's your answer?
A 10.
Okay. I'm just going to put the average at a 10.
Yeah, because...
Goodness gracious. All right. I like how my setup right now allows me to be left-handed. All right. Moving on to our tight end group, which currently consists of Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Lee Smith, Parker Hesse, who's from the practice squad, Jaden Graham, who's on IR, and then John Rain, who's also on the practice squad. How do we feel about that group?
And Hayden Hurst will be a free agent at the end of this year. So I think about and it's very important all the Smith's offense, so I would say about a 7.
All right, fair answer. What was everyone else thinking about here? All right, King Kells Fences with a 4. Joe Houston's got a 4. Overcome said our wide receiver room came from Munchkin Lane. Reminds me of the Marx brothers that Dan Marino had to throw to, like the Mark Ingram and Mark Duper. They're both like 5'9". And Mike Sports coming in with a 5. Daniel Connor saying 1. CK22 saying 5. Alex Edwards with a 4. Robert Bennett with a 7. 4 is up with a 3. Jamarius with a 3. Bubba Gump with a 7. And then you said 4, or no, you also said 7, right?
7, yeah.
So what's our average looking like right now?
Let me see, 4. I think that's about a 5.
5, okay.
Yeah, 3, 4, 2. Yeah, it'll be 4.4, so around 5.
I'll round it up because,
yeah,
like you said, we got to.
More people answering.
I was also kind of thinking around a 5 too, so.
Yeah.
All right. Left tackle position. How are we feeling about that one? Which currently consists of Jake Matthews. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we said.
Everyone else on the practice squad is listed as just OL. So I don't know how to. Maybe you're throwing Willie Beavers there from the practice squad.
Yeah. Was Matt Gano a right tackle or?
I think he was a left guard.
Okay.
So, Daivon, what's your answer for left tackle?
I would say about a 4. I think we need a swing tackle, but that's pretty easy to get in a free agency, or maybe even Matt Gano could be a swing tackle.
I hope so.
Yeah, if he's healthy.
Right now, it's not so much about the matter of like who's at the starter. It's like really who's behind him, which is absolutely nobody.
Nobody.
All right. So let's get in with these ones. All right. So King Kell's got a 5. Alex Edwards gave us a 4. CK22 with a 3. Robert Bennett with a 6. Jamarius with a 6. Joe Houston with a 5. 4 is up with a 5. Bubba Gump with a 5. Daniel Connor with a 5. I'm pretty sure the answer is going to be a 5 as far as the average. So just throw that out there. All right. Moving on to the left guard position. Brought to you by Jalen Mayfield, Matt Gano, who's on IR, and then Josh Andrews, who's on the reserve/COVID list currently. Anyone else that you want to throw in there is probably going to be with the practice squad. So I know the Jalen Mayfield discussion has been kind of controversial as of lately. So what's your stance on that?
I think it's too early to give up on him, to say we need to draft somebody, but
right. Given that, I mean, that wasn't even his actual position.
Yeah, so. and I would say he's to the defenses that we're going against and the huge defensive tackles that he's going against. I think he's getting better and he's being about below average, but that's what you can expect from somebody like that, Yeah,
I don't want to go too hard on the actual rookie.
Yeah,
because
I've seen signs of progression. It's just see him getting pushed.
I think as a matter of fact, didn't he have like a 90+ grade on PFF from the Cowboys game?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're saying that he's not holding it down, I'd kind of beg to differ sometimes. I have more evidence with me saying that he's been good, more so than bad. And I can also kind of contribute that to, well, who's playing right next to him to the right of him.
Yeah.
And then like, when you have like a double block assignment and the other guy's not doing his job, it'll make you look bad as well.
Yep.
So you just got to keep that in mind. But moving on, let's get with these comments. King Kell, always with a quick response, gave us a 4. Robert Bennett gave us a 7. Joe Houston with a 6. CK with a 6. 4 is up with a 3. Alex Edwards with an 8. Daniel Connor with a 7. Jamarius with a 4. Bubba Gump with a 5.
Average about a 6.
Okay. Throw that there. All right, this is going to be juicy. Center position, yes. Which currently consists of Matt Hennessy, Drew Dahlman, and then I just do Joe Sculthorpe from the practice squad. I listed him as a center. I don't really know, but yeah, Matt. His middle name might as well be playing while drinking. Matt playing while drinking Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, jeez. All right, here's the flood of
Oh.
But we got someone in here. Asia Green, how's it going? All right, so to recap what we're doing right now, for anyone that's tuning in, I know we have a little bit more viewers than when we started. So this is our positional needs bracket right now. We are currently determining which on offense for this time around is our biggest need for improvement. Considering, we had this Saturday and the next Saturday to focus on with no game in between, we have this to look forward to. For the offensive side, over here in the red, I have the train. We haven't gotten to these colors yet, but basically, if I put a red anywhere in the area, we're basically trying to say, hey, let's just wait it out. Let's hope they improve. Hopefully, we don't have to spend any money. Let's just let them grow. In the green equals money. Money equals free agency. So if we can try to pull a free agent from this position, we'd love to do so, and then we'll worry about names and whatever. And then in the blue, it'll be someone that we can draft in the rookie class. So if you see anything in red, green, or blue, you'll know the particular number. I know that it's really tough to see right now, but don't worry. I'll probably provide everyone with a picture. I'll probably give Maggie the picture of this with the first half of what we're doing so far, and then we can you guys can get a better angle of it. All right, we're all caught up. Let's get on with these ones. Okay, I think we're going to start off with Alex Edwards. You gave us 6.5, so I'm going to round that up to 7 because that ain't fair.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Whole numbers only, dude. Bubba Gump with a 9. Joe Houston with a 9. Robert Bennett with a 9. 4 is up with an 8. King Kell with a 6. CK with a 4. Also came up with a fair statement. We don't know enough about Dahlman yet. What I do know is that he is not starting.
Yep.
Even after everything that Hennessy has or has not done for us.
No, but I'm with him. Even if we're counting Matt Hennessy, this is pretty much like his rookie year because I think he only started 2 games last year. So I mean,
something like that. Like he's still pretty raw.
Yeah,
as well.
He has to develop somewhat.
But I also think that. Sorry, but I also think that as far as like when he's getting blown off of a block, like what is the reason? I don't think it's necessarily because he's not like learned enough of the playbook.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's just a matter of like, I think he's constantly getting overpowered.
Yeah, and it looks bad. Like just from the eye test, you see he's the first one in the backfield on a run play. That's not
right.
good.
So it's like technique can only help you so much. And I've talked about this in one of my older articles that no one checks out. But I've mentioned this. It's like you want to get into a good clamping position so that if you're getting pushed back, you'll have the technique available so that you can grab and then maneuver your opponent in any way, even though that they're bigger than you.
Yeah.
Because there's been plenty of examples of a good center that has been undersized. One of the best ones that come to mind is probably Jason Kelsey right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, Olin Cruz for the Bears. These are guys who were like 300 pounds, sometimes 290. I know Rodney Hudson from the Raiders. He's now with the Cardinals. He also plays at that kind of weight. And that's where Matt Hennessy and Drew Dalman lie. So I don't know what the difference is between these guys, though. Maybe it's just not enough technique. Maybe it's just not, or maybe it's just a different type of weight that they have. Whatever the case may be, let's move on to what everyone else is saying. So we got another 5. We got a hello from Maggie. Alex is saying he had strength issues in college. I knew there was going to be a problem, but didn't think it would be this bad. He has been playing decent recently. Okay. I was saying I think we should go after a proven veteran center in free agency. Fair point. Yeah. And then, like I said, we're going to color that in a little bit.
Yeah, with that, the average is a 7.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the right guard position, which currently being held up by Chris Lindstrom. Once again, that's it. The 2 people behind him would be from the practice squad, which would be, I don't know if he actually plays these positions, but Rick Leonard and Ryan Musial.
Yeah, I would say with that, yeah, I'm not really worried because Chris Lindstrom's there. We just need a backup. We just need more depth at every offensive line position, honestly. Right. I would say about a 2.
Man, there's already 2 people that are going even bolder than you and saying just straight up 0.
Okay,
hey,
0.
We got our first 1 so far.
Yeah.
At least on average. Let's see what everyone else thinks, though. Alex with a 4, King Kel with a 0. He takes it back. You can use some Jess with a 3. All right, so scratch off one of those zeros with a 3. Okay. Daniel Carr with a 3. Use Mad Mike with a 2. Alex Edwards with a 3. Robert Bennett with a 5. Bubba Gump with a 2. Jamarius with a 1. 4 is up with a 5. And you said about a 2, so
yeah.
What's that coming out to look like so far?
A 2.
Nice. All right. Lowest score yet.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all think about this, vote Chris Lindstrom for the Pro Bowl then. All right. Hey, if you're bored, if you're suffering from insomnia like I do all the time, and you're just needing something to do before you sleep, hey, count Pro Bowl votes until you fall asleep. Sometime in your lunch break, just get a couple votes in. That's what I normally try to do. I'm especially spamming the heck out of like AJ Terrell and Cordero Patterson. Yes. Cordero, especially because he's even harder to find and compared to other running backs. So, yeah, you guys got to find him. Kyle Pitts and other guys like that, I wouldn't worry about too much. Foye is probably going to be easier to find because he's like top 4 in tackles right now. At the moment, I'm pretty sure Kyle Pitts is 2nd in receiving yards among tight ends. That's nice, only behind Kelsey. So let's see what everyone's stances are on here. You seem to have back-to-back comments. I don't know if you were getting a head start on the right guard position or. Oh yeah, that's because I didn't ask it. Right tackle, which currently consists of Caleb McGarry, Jason Spriggs, and Colby Gassett, or Gossett, something like that. So Daivon, what's your answer for here?
I think McGarry is. I think if we see one person getting beat a lot, and it's McGarry, but he's in his progression. I thought he would, develop better than he has. So I probably would say around a 7. I think we should start looking for other options at that position.
Okay. So the starting worries you. I know we've seen a little bit of Spriggs and Gossett this season.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on that?
I think they're backup level talent.
What's the drop off like then? Like if McGarry goes down, are we worried, or is it not that much of a difference?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was that much of a difference.
All right. So does that mean that we have like? So they're all about the same in terms of like the depth.
Yeah.
But we just need that one starter to
We need-
differentiate himself.
Yeah. Or somebody that can develop. I think, like I said with him, I think it would have been better if we didn't trade up for him. Because I remember that year he was supposed to go in the 3rd round, but we traded up to the 1st.
Like 31st pick or something, right?
Yeah. And I think if he was a 3rd round pick, we can look at him and say, okay, this is what we should have expected. But a 1st round right tackle.
I mean, even some of the other outlandish moves, like I think this past draft when the Raiders traded all the way up to get Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah.
Like that was just a shock to dang near everyone. But then Alex Leatherwood has been like one of their best offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it.
I think he's actually been performing better than Trayvon Merrick, who everyone was saying should have been the 1st round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people saying, well, if you just swip him out, it's not that much of a loss. And then not only that, but it's also like, how much do you pay one or the other?
Yeah.
So maybe there's a drop off in pay per the position. So maybe they were thinking that way as well. Definitely. All right. Alex Edwards coming in first with a 6. Robert Bennett says a 10. CK with a 7. Daniel Connor with an 8. 4's up with a 10. Bubba Gump with a 7. Jamarius with a 7. And you also said about a 7.
Yeah. The average is about an 8.
All right. Okay. So to recap, because I know that y'all can't see this. At quarterback, we have a 5. Running back, we have a 7. Wide receiver, we have a 10. Tight end, we have a 5. Left tackle, we have 5. Left guard, we have 6. Center, we have 7. Right guard, we have 2. Right tackle, we have 8. So I think what I'm going to do is for the positions that gained a score higher than 5, I'm going to move on to the next round. So what this could look like is, I don't know, something like this. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions right there. Drawing on the spot is difficult. Let's just do that like that. That. I was never known for my art or my straight lines, so
me either.
I was known for my numbers and my knowledge of whatever. All right, let's actually compare these two together. Let's just break it off like that. So now we're going to get to our colors. All right, so with the running back group, do we want to train the guys that we have? Do we want to hopefully pick up someone in free agency? Or should we draft this position?
This one, the running back, I would draft just because there's a lot of good running backs in this draft, and they're probably going to go around the 2nd round. So I think it'll be a perfect opportunity with 2 2nd-round picks. But there's also a lot of free agents that are good as well. So I think it's one that you could double dip, the draft and free agency.
Okay, so you're saying like, hey, cut two of the guys that we have right now in the
Yeah.
room, replace them. You're
Hmm.
probably thinking Mike Davis would be one of
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
then maybe what Gallman, get him out.
Yeah. Just
Do we
because I
still want
don't
to keep? We still want to keep
Cordero.
Allison?
Oh, Allison. Is he still on his work? Wait, is it two more years on his contract? Or did we
Uh,
cut him and it's
his
expired?
contract was so weird
Oh, okay. I
because
was
he's
like,
technically also listed among the people that are giving us dead cap money. Um,
really?
yeah,
Because I
I
think, yeah,
mentioned
we
this
cut
before you
him.
got here. There are 52 active players on our roster right now. Well, the 53rd probably would have been Calvin Ridley.
Hmm.
Uh, that account for 75% of the roster or of the
Hmm.
cap space right now. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's only 75%. Where's the other 25% going? That is thanks in part to the 57 names
57.
on the dead cap list, which is responsible for 25% of our total money right now.
No. I read that we're still paying Desmond Trufant $6 million in dead cap.
Oh, of course. I think at the
That
moment,
is
right,
insane.
I think Julio's account for almost a little over 10% of the cap.
That's insane.
Put that in perspective, everyone. Matt Ryan's cap hit percentage is about 14.
That's insane.
He only counts for 14% of the of our salary cap. So let's move on to what everyone else is doing. All right. So Alex Edwards is thinking the free agency pool. F thinking draft. CK thinking draft. Daniel Conda thinking draft. Bubba Gump thinking draft. Jamari's thinking free agency. You said we can double dip and see how that goes. I am gonna grab the blue marker because I'm seeing more
Draft.
drafts than free agencies. Um, if you said free agencies, don't worry, I'm not forgetting you because, like I said, like, we can still make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we can also think about the deals after like the June 1st or whatever kind of deal. Um,
Yeah.
with those kind of cuts, obviously, look what happened to us around that
Mm-hmm.
time. So anything can still happen even after the draft. So it's not just worrying about before. So since we are focusing on the draft, I don't want to think about a round yet. Instead,
Maybe
because
a player type,
hmm,
like power, finesse. Maybe like a build.
chat, what's your
Yeah.
response to this? Like, where should we go from here? Let's see who helps us out with this.
I was thinking about
Because I
that.
was also kind of thinking like another like scale of 1 to 10 as to, you know, something like
Maybe like urgency. Maybe like how important should we make it in the draft? Like,
sure, maybe we can do that. So like 10 would be closer in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
1 would be furthest
Like
back in the
don't.
draft or UDFA or something.
Yeah.
Alex is thinking strength. If you can
So like a
elaborate on
power
that, that
runner.
would be okay. So like an AJ Dillon type,
Mm-hmm.
or because I don't know if we can.
So I was saying like a finesse would be, like, okay, finesse would be somebody like, people probably don't know, like Chris Johnson. Like that's just a finesse running back, just known for that. Maybe
Right.
Powers, obviously somebody like Derrick Henry. And if you're looking for somebody with a little of both, somebody kind of like Jonathan Taylor, he can finesse and he's powerful as well.
Yeah, you were thinking Jonathan Taylor. I was thinking Austin Eckler.
Oh yeah, him too.
Okay, so Bubba brings up a point. He's saying a bruiser back and a finesse running back, so kind of like a 1-2 punch, like we did back in
Mm-hmm.
the day with Duckett and Dunn,
Mm-hmm.
or Turner and Jacquez Rogers.
Remember that one.
Yeah, Freeman and Coleman. I don't know if I would consider one of them or the other like a power or a bruiser.
Yeah,
Maybe Freeman with a bruiser.
yeah.
But
Coleman had trouble staying on his feet, being a finesse.
do you remember that one report that came out where he's like he suffered a concussion because he slipped in the shower?
I did not know about that.
That was an actual report.
That's crazy.
Tevin Coleman was slipped in
That's-
the shower and suffered a concussion. Only our running backs, people. All right, Damaris is thinking like an Edgerrin James. Do we? All right, I'm gonna have to see if we can try to find a Hall of Fame running back in this year's draft class. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I mean that'll be good if people give us like a build, maybe like they're saying a dual threat running back, strength running back, finesse running back. We could probably look for prospects that match it.
Yeah, Daniel kind of remembers that. I'm glad someone remembered because
If I would have, I can't believe that. That's crazy. A concussion.
the more you know. So I think I'm gonna go archetype here.
Mm-hmm. Bubba Gump said Joe Mixon type. I agree with that.
Mm. He, again, a very underrated running back.
Underrated.
I want to say DT for dual threat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one running back or two? That's the other question I wanted to ask. Should we just get one running back, swap one out, or swap two of them out? This is more so like a question of our depth.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably get one. And then free
All right,
agency maybe the
Alex is
other.
thinking the same thing. Forzep's thinking two. So when I'm saying this number, I'm saying should we draft one or two?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want everyone to know that we only have so many draft picks. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
Daivon, how many draft
Yeah.
picks do we have in total?
I think is the fourth round next year or is it this year that we got a second and fourth for Julio?
You want to do me a favor and look that up?
Yeah. And it's really weird because we get comp picks as well. I don't know if we have any. Let me see.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna.
The Falcons have a first, second from Titans, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. We traded our seventh for Lee Smith.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in green as well. I'm gonna say because a lot of people were thinking that we should get two running backs. I'm gonna put one in green, one RB, that sort type right there. All right. Our wide receiver group. What color marker should I get?
I would say draft.
All right. So let's think about the where we should get them and the quantity. Cedric Murphy saying whatever gets 1,500 plus, like Michael Turner.
Yeah.
Ooh, tall task, but hey, with 17 games and Arthur Smith's offense, that should be possible, right? All right, so Alex is thinking draft. I also want a quantity. How many of our wide receivers do we currently not trust? It's essentially what I'm saying.
And keep in mind, Russell Gage's contract has expired at the end of the year, so I think we might let him go. We don't resign for cheap.
Okay. All right. So there's some of the answers are coming in. So Alex is saying draft in the second round Four up saying free agency. If you can give me a quantity, that'd be great. Bubba saying one draft, one free agency. Robert Bennett saying draft two of them, one in the second and one in the fourth.
Oh, I didn't
Actually
know
saying,
this. So Alameda Sakias, Russell Gage, Christian Blake, and Sharp's contract has expired at the end of the season. So we're going to be looking a little empty there. Even
oh, great.
so
I might as well, because we're going to be keeping one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put one train. So one wide receiver. Are also kind of thinking bit of both. So is that like 3 wide receivers to worry about in total then? So train one of them, draft one of them, and sign one of them.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Everybody good with
Sounds
that?
good.
And then let's think about the archetypes. What types of receivers do we want? We got 3 slots to fill out. What's your thoughts, Daivon?
I was thinking we need a bigger guy, someone kind of like you brought up earlier this year, Tim Patrick, somebody like Courtland Sutton. And then we need more of a finesse guy, somebody like Will Fuller or even somebody that we signed. But it's kind of weird because we don't see the whole depth of Arthur Smith's offense yet, so we can't really see what exactly would be perfect and who would be perfect. So yeah, I think maybe like a bigger guy, finesse guy, and somebody that can move the chains on third down.
Robert Van saying all of them are replaceable. Just throw the whole position away. Fair enough. Daniel Carter saying 2 draft and free agency. So is that 2 total wide receivers or 2 draft and 2 free agency? Cedric Murphy saying I'm going to say 1. Somebody will step up. I like that optimism. Mary's thinking a 5th round receiver. Fours up saying get 2 in free agency to focus on the defense and O-line in the first 3 rounds. I like it. We're thinking strategy here. CK saying 2 cheap free agents who fit the scheme. Robert Bennett saying free agency. All right, so now we're getting to the prototypes. Cedric Murphy saying a big and fast. Is that 1 receiver? Because I know that you said 1, so I'm assuming that you're going to say 1 receiver that's both big and fast. TF, nice to see you here. He's saying blocking blocking wide receiver. Alex wants another route runner. Causing that separation instead of having to rely on talent. I like that. A bigger wide receiver who can take a hit, who isn't afraid of contact. So the anti-Deshaun Jackson. A route runner with some speed, says Alex. They're saying, all right, there we go. We got a depth charts of prototypes. We got a possession, a high point receiver, a deep threat, and a big body. I like it. Alex is bringing up Michael Gallup. He would be available this year, technically.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying 2 in total. And then, yeah, just the 1. All right.
Seems like we want a bigger body prototype. A lot of people do.
Okay, so one of these guys, or not one of them, but we're seeing. I'm trying to figure out, does anyone that we have right now fit the mold? Because I want to use one of these ones for one that we should train, and I want to be able to put an initial down.
I'm sitting here waiting to see if Frank Darby is that, because he was supposed to be a deep threat receiver, someone that can go up and high point a ball, but we haven't got a chance
someone that's got size.
Yeah.
Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys right now in that wide receiver room And one thing that we also need to remember, these wide receivers, they also need to be able to tackle. Because we see Darby playing special teams, we see Blake playing special teams, we see Zacchaeus possibly returning stuff. So that's another element as well. So maybe we shouldn't get these kind of midgets that we have right now, according to some people. All right, so I'm going to say train the heck out of Frank Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the first wide receiver that's going to be voted off the island? All right, between OZ, Gage, Sharp, and Blake. Pick one receiver to vote off the island first.
Blake.
So you're saying screw special teams? You don't need them.
I was. Does Cordell play special teams, right?
He does. I would love it if he didn't have to.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's playing us so much as a gunner.
All right, so far as I'm saying Blake, CK saying Blake, Robert Blake is saying Blake. All right, so now that we, in our own simulation, we removed Christian Blake from the roster. I don't know what that would do for us as far as cap, but I don't want to worry about that. Alex Edwards is also thinking Tajay Sharp. It took me a second because of the initials. But all right, so now we replaced Blake. How are we going to replace Blake? With a free agent? And then what was the prototype again? So what we're saying, I like the idea of the route runner. So I want to get another route runner. Hopefully to give us a little bit more separation. And I think that it might be possible for us to draft one of those guys.
Yeah.
So one wide receiver as a route runner. I will have to get back to these things because the initials and abbreviations that I'm giving are going to throw me off later on. And then I like what CK did right here. A cheap, big-bodied free agent. Not many of those flying off the shelves this year, but let's see. I'm just going to put. Jeez. Yeah. 6 erasers. All right, I'm just going to put big. There we go. All right. So far, we've trained Frank Darby, we drafted a route runner, and we signed up a big receiver in free agency. All right, next up on the list is going to be what can we do to fix the left tackle position, or not left tackle, but left guard position. What are we going to do there? Do we want to train him? Do we want to sign a veteran presence in that room, in that area? Is Josh Andrews or Matt Gono that veteran presence that Mayfield needs? Do we not have to focus on veteran kind of presence? Because
I would say train.
Yeah. All right. So 4 is up saying train. What were you gonna say?
I would say, didn't we pay Matt Gono, or it was was it?
I think we gave him some sort of tender or something.
Yeah,
give him a franchise tender.
Yeah, it wasn't a cheap tender, so I think they kind of like what they saw from him before he got hurt.
I hope so, because
need it.
Because what this could do, right? Like if we get Matt Gono back, hypothetically, he's now the starter. I still want Mayfield on the field, and I think that we can move him back to his natural position at right tackle. And now we just killed 2 birds with one stone just because we solved one of them.
Yep, that would be perfect.
So with that in mind, I know, essentially, in essence, I'm saying screw the chat right now, but I think we've already kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Bumble Dump was also saying train.
Train.
Yeah, does everyone agree that we should
Just
probably
train.
train the guy that we have? And I want to say train Gono.
Mm-hmm. How old
So
is Matt going? Is he 26, 27?
he's in his mid 20s. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm going to put Gono. And then I'm going to put right tackle down here.
Wow, he's only 25.
Even better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, RT, I'm going to put JM there for Jalen Mayfield. All right. Now that we got those guys figured out, that we got those solved, what are we going to do with our center? Should we train Matt Hennessy or train Dahlman? Should we sign a free agent there? Or should we draft yet another person and have possibly one of the youngest center groups in the NFL?
I definitely would train.
All right, I'm going to end it on Robert Bennett, and then everyone underneath him consider for the center. All right, so Forrest Up is thinking a free agent. If you were thinking about a free agent, would he be a starter? I want you guys to be able to answer that question. Because Cedric Murphy's thinking, I say we bring in a veteran center, like what happened when we brought. I was so tempted to say,
yeah. I'll be hyped.
Okay, he's also saying train. Robert Bennett is saying draft a third year in a row. That is a bold thing. We're saying train him, draft, free agency C, train Dahlman, sign a cheap vet free agency if we can find one. Ha ha.
Let me see.
So yeah, we're definitely all over the place when it comes to this one.
Yeah.
So Daivon, you are you're our tiebreaker here.
All right.
What's the people's choice?
I do like the idea of bringing one in free agency. Just a cheaper free agent that can try to at least, because we can't train when we have young guys in the room anyway. Like there's nobody to train.
Right. So would they start?
Compete. Because because I just make it a 3-way competition between them. See who can win the job and who really wants it. But definitely bring one in.
All right. So I'm going to grab the green marker. And then I'm going to grab the red one. Let's say center. And then PB for positional. And then 1C for either MH plus, not plus, but slash Drew Dahlman. All right. Yeah, he likes that. Let him compete. All right. So we figured out what type of running back that we want and how many that we want them. We figured out 3 wide receivers to hopefully improve the room. We've done our best in order to solve the offensive line issue. Like I said, the other positions we don't have to worry about too much, so they can probably be either solved for depth purposes or the likes. What about this plan are you least confident in? So what's that? It's that one thing where it's like, man, if we don't get everything to work here, it's gonna be a problem.
I would
Who
say
are you saying that to?
offensive line, just because it's been a problem for a
What
while.
position?
I'm worried about the center. Personally, I think Mayfield can develop. He's only a rookie, and Matt Gano. Like you said, they could either flip flop or Matt Gano could play tackle because I think he was listed as a tackle. So
Saying everything. I don't want everything
yeah,
as an answer. All right, we got to choose one. We got to choose the number one priority on offense. Sergeant Murph is saying, "Hey, we're gonna give him some time because I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like Mayfield's a rookie, Hennessy's in his second year, Lindstrom is in his third year, McGarry's in his third year, and Matthews is by far been the longest tenured guy, and he's still holding it down. So, obviously we haven't really seen a whole lot of Mayfield at right tackle. So maybe this whole guard switched over to tackle back to where he was originally. Maybe that doesn't pan out on either side. Because I think like with over here with the running back group, there's a little bit more control over that.
Yeah.
And then as far as the wide receiver room, there's a lot of need there. But again, like I'm pretty sure that once you solve the problem over here with the line, the wide receivers will eventually show up and appear on our team. And like I said, we have Ridley coming back. We have Kyle Pitts still on our roster. We're gonna have some guys that will hopefully be able to create that separation needed and then distract some of the defenders. We still have Cordero Patterson that I haven't even mentioned yet. And as long as Matt Ryan is our quarterback, I feel confident in his ability in order to make all of the kind of throws that are necessary in order for these receivers to catch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's at least getting it there on a pretty consistent basis. I know that you can probably look at a few of those throws and be like, well, what the heck was going on there? Like, I'll give you an example. That corner route, like the first interception that Matt threw against the Patriots, that was a corner route ran by Kyle Pitts. He was jammed at the line, couldn't separate, and then he lost the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I saw. Because, like, there's no way that Matt overthrew him by, like, 5 yards. That was just a straight up, because Matt Rex, he likes to throw those kind of passes with anticipation. He trusts and he expects those guys to be open instead of some of these other quarterbacks that just wait for them to get open and then have to really zip it in there.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah. So we're saying Robert Bennett, center getting pushed back. Well, now he's getting moved up. So on the list, Forsup sitting at the tackle. Center needs to be addressed for sure. Okay. So like I said, we're really banking on a free agent center, apparently. In your list of players, were you able to find a center that we can look out for?
See, it was saying like guard. Let's see.
Some guards can make the conversion. Not all of them though.
Because the people that let me see.
Eddie Evans, edge, and more edge. We're gonna save that for next week's thing. I don't want to keep this on for too long because I know that we both have.
So Ryan Jensen, isn't he one of the best centers in the NFL on the Buccaneers? So I think they might resign him.
He's certainly playing like it, but I think the problem with him is that, I mean, we saw what happened to that team last year. No one wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Literally nobody wanted to leave.
Literally.
So, is that going to happen back-to-back seasons? I doubt that. I doubt some people are going to retire and whatnot. But as far as him, I know that if you have Brady as your quarterback, you are going to prioritize your offensive line as much as you can. So if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm keeping Ryan Jensen at all costs. So I don't really expect him to hit the free agency market, or at least like sign him to like a franchise tag, making sure that you're trying to lock him up, and doing whatever that needs to be done for, their own salary cap problems.
Mm-hmm.
If Cardiac Walker was here, he'd probably let us know on all things Tampa salary cap related for the offensive line. But he
Yeah.
doesn't seem to show up in the chat as of right now. Hopefully, we'll see him later, and then he can tell us everything we're doing wrong in the comments.
There's no
brings
names
up a
that
point.
stand out. There's Matt Paradis, Jason Kelsey. I don't know if they're gonna re-sign him.
He
Austin
might
Corbett.
retire because
Yeah, same.
they have Landon Dickerson behind him.
Oh, I forgot about. Yeah. Or
So
maybe he
maybe
does
he's
it,
in
and
there
maybe
for
they
his
let him
last
go,
hurrah.
and maybe the Falcons could, like I said, do something like they did with Matt.
But with Mac, we were able to keep him for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that for the next center, at least in this offseason,
Yeah.
given the names that you're reading. Maybe
Hopefully,
we pry Matt Paradis from the Panthers, but even
yeah,
then,
same.
like, how have the Panthers' offensive line been looking so far?
Yeah.
Is he been much of an improvement? Maybe we can watch the Panthers games just to focus on the center.
Mm-hmm. And there was Corbett from the Rams. I've heard of him before.
Yeah, I've heard some decent things from Rams fans on Instagram about him, but nothing like too like, oh hey, yeah, like we're confident in him.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's not a whole lot of. I mean, there are some problems with the Rams, but
Oh yeah.
I don't think that one of them would be the center.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's not like the first thing that pops up into everyone's minds.
Yeah.
But yeah, he brings up a good point. I just know that we went from the worst to best with Mac because of. I hate to bring this guy's name up again, but Peter Cons. Oh my god!
Dang.
You want to talk about a guy that wasn't worth his weight in air? Oof.
And I'm just hoping we could bring in somebody that can, like you said, it's like you said, it's not a technique issue.
What if we trade? I mean, we haven't really talked about that option.
Yeah. Trading is a.
What would we trade though? We got to think about that. Player or picks, or a bit of both in order to sweeten the deal. Jerry's thinking, hey, let's call up Nick Mangle.
So this isn't what I want to do, but this is an idea people have been throwing out for salary cap reasons and value reasons. Deion Jones, because Foyo Olukun is a free agent after the season, so I was thinking,
and I
they
definitely
need
want to
money.
keep him.
Yes, and trade. Maybe we could trade Deion, and maybe we could package offensive lineman in that pick instead of getting picks for him. I think they're going to keep Grady Jarrett. I don't think they want to trade him, but you never know.
He needs to be like his father and go all out as a Falcon.
That's what I want. I mean, honestly, people were saying
that list of people that have started and ended their careers with the Falcons alone, probably on one 7-figured hand. It is not a very long list. All right, at some point, everyone leaves or at least started from another team. Good though they are, we just can't seem to keep everyone else around there. And I don't know if that's just necessarily like how our negotiation skills with the agent to the general manager or whatever the case may be. Like that has been happening on a historic level. So it can't just be something from recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal with that is overall, but so they're saying Ridley thrives around other star receivers, which I like that. But given what we've thought about, is that next star receiver going to be Frank Darby, or is it going to be someone from the free agency pool? Is it going to be a rookie?
I was going to ask you, do you think? I know we don't know what our salary cap situation is going to be, but do you think the Chargers re-sign Mike Williams first?
Ooh.
I think he's going to be one of the most expensive free agents.
Yeah, he's going to cost a pretty penny because he's one of those few receivers that when you give him the ball enough times, he can take over a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they could find a way to get Mike Williams, oh my goodness.
But Matt Ryan, he wouldn't miss.
He wouldn't. That is a big target.
You can't miss. And now, like, think about how our offense looks if everyone's healthy. Ridley, Pitts, Patterson, Mike Williams. That's
You
four
can't.
people right there.
That is gonna be on guard. And he's great. He's great in the red zone. He's great.
He's got the body to block as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I think Arthur Smith does see that he needs a wide receiver, kind of like AJ Brown, like somebody. Julio would have been that, and Pitts is that, but he's a tight end, and you really don't want to use him at receiver all the time. So I think he's going to
at the very least, he's going to be in the position where it's like you just want to train him.
Yeah.
First, get him up to speed.
Yeah.
Because the problem with the draft ones, this draft class, like the way that we've dealt with it, it makes me curious as to how the next offseason would look like as far as a rookie stepping up into the team. Because are we going to utilize him immediately right away, like week one, like we did with Pitts? Are they going to hide behind the depth chart, like Gallman and Darby?
Grant, yeah.
Grant, Taquan Graham, like AO and Avery Williams for the most part, like they've been thrown into the fire and have had a few sparks happen with them.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, there hasn't been enough asked for, there hasn't been enough. Restart the sentence. There hasn't been much on these rookies' plates.
Yeah. So
when we're thinking about the priority to draft, we also have to keep this in mind. Some coaching staffs, like Mike Zimmer, for example, for Minnesota, they are very anti-starting a rookie. They're very much like, hey, I'm going to sit behind you, or you're going to sit behind this guy, and until I feel like it, essentially. And then some coaches, they're going to be like, hey, we need your help right now because we have our window that could be closing in order to do any sort of relevant thing. And please just develop on the field. That's the best way you're going to thrive. Some rookies just aren't built like that, though. So,
yeah.
And that also depends on the position.
Yep.
Like week one, Jalen Mayfield is definitely not the type of example that you would want other future offensive linemen had they been drafted, which it looks like we're not even going to try to draft any offensive linemen, which is an interesting thought.
That center pick really surprised me. I did not know they were going to go center again. But
yeah, because right now we've only have 2 of our how many draft picks again?
I think it's 7.
So 2 of our 7 draft picks. So we're kind of thinking 5 defensive players.
Yeah, I would load up on the defense.
I like that. I like that strategy too. But at the same time, look what happened to these defensive players that play on that side. Look what happened to Grant and Williams and AO and Graham. Like we have 4 or 5 people. I haven't even mentioned Darren Hall. So it's like we've already had 5 rookies over on that side of the ball.
That sack did impress me. I was like, just use him like that.
Okay, like that sack impressed you, but I'm pretty sure Darren Hall is currently suffering from a chipped tooth because he bit on everything.
Yeah, you're right. He did. That's the problem. And I was wondering, is that a product of Dean P's defense or is it lack of talent or,
I would definitely say lack of talent because that doesn't happen if Isaiah Oliver's there.
True. That's true.
That doesn't happen if Jalen Hawkins is there, and that's essentially his backup.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're going to save the defensive topic for next week. Cedric saying, Jones, Ridley, Pitts, pick your one-on-one.
I was so excited for that.
Yeah. And then CK is saying, it's a brand new system, so I think having a year under our belts will help boost the progression of the new guys coming in next year.
I can see that.
I can too. And, so long as we deflate our egos a little bit on the coaching staff, I think that will serve us a lot better than previous years where we've just I keep cutting the rope, but it keeps getting shorter. What's the problem, guys? It's just those types of situations. So it's like, dude, you're doing the thing that doesn't work, and you
Yes.
keep expecting it to work. Like
Yes.
first down run, first down run, first down
It's
run, first and 10 run, first and 10
like
run,
it's
first and
not
10 run.
working. They
Dude,
know
you've
they
got like 4 yards in total on every first down run that you've done. And
what
that's probably including that like 112-yard run given to us by Allison.
was it Dirk Cutter that did the first and 10, or was it second and 10 runs to set up for the third? I think he did second and long runs.
I just know that
And then now we have somebody who does first and 10 runs, and then maybe he even
yeah,
runs
like
again.
again, I and I've said this in the previous weeks, it's like it's good to establish the run. So
Mhm.
I don't hate the fact that he's trying to run.
Yeah.
I hate that it looks predictable
Hmm.
on both the concept, the formation, the personnel group, and the play, or on the down in which it happens.
Hmm.
When you're predictable on all of those levels, like I was able to basically call out, all right, yeah, this is going to be a run to the left.
On
And if
that,
I'm thinking, yeah, from the TV, what do you think
literally,
the Patriots players are thinking?
literally, they'll line up like, okay, run to the left, run to the right. Okay, we already know it's gonna happen. Like,
Exactly. So it's
and
like, yeah, we better just set ourselves up for a second and 13 again.
like, see, I wanted to ask you, why was Allison able to come in and get so many chunk yards as he did compared to like people like Mike Davis that runs, and who else was in there? I don't think we used Gallman more than twice, right?
I
It
remember
was like,
Gallman catching a pass.
oh yeah. But we used Allison. It looked like he didn't he run for 40 yards, I think. It was
He
40 or
may have
30.
been all 40. Like I said, like
Hmm.
I remember Keith Smith getting some yards,
Like,
but then there were also some plays where it's like it didn't matter who was back there because the offensive line couldn't hold up because, like I said, they knew what the play was,
yeah.
and you play a lot better when you know what the play is.
Yeah, he had 34 yards.
Yeah, that sounds like we're being lied to.
it does.
So
And I was just wondering how he came in. I remember him, he ran for like 6 yards and ran for 7. And I was like, why is it such an immediate? Is it the way he runs, or is it, because you can't change concepts, maybe.
I think because I remember we ran on a 4th and 1, and the
Hmm.
first time we did that, we actually got successful yards out of it thanks to Allison.
Hmm.
And when you remember that run, it was a run to the past the right tackle,
Hmm.
so it was like an off tackle run or whatever. Um, but the line was actually pushing to the left,
Hmm.
so that was Matt Judon on Caleb McGarry. Caleb McGarry won that battle per se,
Hmm.
and that's where we were able to get the gash of yards there.
Hmm.
So, but then it happened on a few other moments where it was like, I think we had a play where it was 3 down linemen from the Patriots, and it was essentially just a one-on-one on an island, McGarry versus Matt Judon, and then Judon got there in like maybe half a second. it
Yeah.
was
I was
it
like, oh
was
my
incredible
goodness.
how fast he got there. So that brings up my next question. Because we're prioritizing the offensive line here first above the running back and the wide receiver positions, what should their strength be? Run block or pass block? Let's start with the center first.
Hmm.
Because most likely you're gonna get a center that's only getting one.
Yeah.
Very rarely, I mean very rarely, do you get centers that are great in both. And even those ones, though, these guys aren't going to shine their first year.
Hmm.
So we just got to keep that in mind.
Hmm.
CK saying, I just think Allison has a better burst and vision, too much dancing and hesitation from Davis. Yeah, like Allison, he definitely played as if his job was on the line because it
Yeah,
essentially is.
yeah.
So Robert Bennett's thinking pass block,
Hmm.
keeping Matt Ryan upright so that we're giving ourselves the chance on these passing plays. I like it. I like it. But again, I think that kind. I think that's kind of where Matt Hennessy stands right now.
Yeah. I I'm pass blocking. He's pretty good. I would. I think I would want him just because I see how Arthur Smith likes to run the ball. It's not really like a. Is he more of okay? So Shanahan was it a West Coast, right? And he ran a lot of inside zone runs.
Arthur Smith is pretty similar to that,
Okay.
at least in terms of what he wants from his offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, because these are the guys that are more pushing these guys horizontally rather than vertically.
Yeah.
So we're not asking for the big beefier guys, like other teams would, because they're trying to just push the ball here, do man on man, all right, cover your guy over here,
Mm-hmm.
and do all sorts of that, and then worry about slide predictions and whatnot from the quarterback. With us, we're trying to push you away from the play and then hopefully
Okay.
get that one cut back in order to have the cutback or for him to be able to slide through the gap that we
Mm-hmm.
provided for him. So in those situations, I would want a run blocking center. I think that the cohesiveness of that would do a lot
Yeah.
to our
Definitely.
to our ground game.
I
Because
always see like he's always the one getting pushed back into the play, and it's really hard to make a cutback when the defensive tackle was already in your face. Uh,
right, so four is up to saying run blocking for interior linemen. CK thought about it, and it's like, grab run block after we establish the run. It'll help with the pass. I do like that. That's complementary football.
yep.
You know, like I said, establishing the ground game early, it helps you out because even afterwards, when you have to put the game away, you need to rely on the
Run.
run.
Yep.
You need to be able to run when the defense expects you to run. If you're good there, I think you have a very efficient offense there when you have a
Yep.
competent quarterback, which we definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put this one down as a run block. All right. I already forgot what I put for PB. I was thinking, the heck was peanut butter again? um, I'll figure it out. I'll listen
Man.
back to this. Everything ATL, how's it going? He's saying, I think they sound really refreshing fundamentals with the line and core strength training. We have pro players there. They just need more confidence in their core abilities. I like it. I like it. I like being able to trust the guys that we have on the roster and expecting them to improve to the point where we can, say that, hey, this guy's in the upper echelon of players that should be recognized for how good that they are. Yeah, because not everyone is like that, especially for the center position. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of making me think. It's like, hey, could we have gotten like a Creed Humphrey from the Chiefs, or like a Quinn Miners or something from Denver? Landon Dickerson, like he had injury history, so even
Yeah.
though he was probably by far the best center from Alabama, it would have been a risk in order to take him,
I
especially if
was
you wanted him to start.
yeah. Who was that? Who did the Chiefs draft that had that heart issue? But he's really good.
I think it was Creed
He's a
Humphrey
it was another guy.
or
He's a
from
left
this
guard, I
draft
think.
class.
Yeah, he's a left guard. Let me
Was that
see. I think he had like a heart issue, and Atlanta did check him out before.
Oh, jeez. What year was this?
This year.
This year, really?
It was They're not coming up.
I don't think it was Duvernay Tardif, was it?
Oh no, it was Trey Smith.
Trey Smith.
Mm-hmm. He's been really good. You look at his numbers whenever he gets on there. It was just weird in the 6th round though.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy
my
about
nation
it.
got it.
If we could have got him
yeah,
in the 6th round,
it's throwing me off because I remember, there was a Trey Smith, and then there was also a Trey Brown.
Yeah,
I think he was a tackle that got drafted by the Bills. So,
yeah.
Aaron Denaire. I think I got it right. Aaron Denaire the third. Welcome. You unfortunately just tuned in at like the point where we were about to end the show. But in order to fully recap, let me do something to my camera. Hang on just a moment. How's this? Okay. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, right. Jeez. The selfie mode sideways is so difficult. Okay. As you can imagine, I'm not one to take pictures of myself, so this is why it's like this. But as you can see, this is our list of priorities. Priority number 1, vote for the Pro Bowl. But priority number 2 for what else we were thinking about our off-season planning, listed at 1 to 10, is our priorities list. So 1 or anything low would be, hey, let's not worry about this. Anything high would be, crap, we need to do something about this position. And then the blue, or here, got the red represents the train, green represents the free agency, and the blue represents the draft. So we're going to draft some of these positions. So we're thinking about drafting a running back. We're thinking about drafting a wide receiver. We're thinking about training Frank Darby, training Matt Gono, training Matt Hennessy or Drew Dalman, and then training Jalen Mayfield back in his right tackle position. Or hopefully getting a running back from the free agency class, specifically one that's either a dual threat or someone to help out a dual threat running back. We can try to get a big wide receiver from the free agency as well. And again, let's get ourselves a peanut butter run blocker. I genuinely forgot what that PB stood for. So yeah, that's our list of priorities for the offensive side of the ball. Tune in next week, and we're going to focus on all things defense. But yeah, vote for the Pro Bowl, especially because you guys said, "Hey, let's." You really think like then maybe you should draft, or maybe you should vote for Chris Lindstrom. All right, guys, this has been us. Let's get you back where you belong. This is probably going to be off kilter. All right. So, overall thoughts about this idea?
I really like
it. How are we feeling about ourselves?
It gives me an idea of where the team stands and, how to think about this season. And maybe if we see guys that we think we should train actually doing good on the field, we're like, okay, we got it. We have a better idea by the end of the season.
Yeah. CK, thank you. Appreciate it. It was, like I said, it was an idea that I had like a couple hours before we started this whole thing. But it's nice to know that we have like this whole window of time where we can focus on this kind of stuff in between. Well, not just like not having to worry about a game, but in between a position where, well, let's face it, where we're kind of down on ourselves excruciatingly. So I just thought, hey, let's think about some of the guys that we have right now. Let's see these guys in the red. Let's get them developed to the point where we can trust them for the next year. The guys in green, let's focus on getting our money right. And then the guys in blue, that's when we're really going to talk about the draft stuff, which we should draft first and whatnot. So yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Oh yeah,
guys.
the other thing. What were we gonna say?
Oh, no, I said thank you, everybody.
Yeah, two last things actually. So I uh, took it upon myself in order to grab some emotes that I made for Mad Mike. So I made a GIF and I made a picture. Um, we're trying to use those emotes on Discord and Twitch for J Rock, but the thing about it is, he needs some viewers for the Twitch in order to get those emotes up and available. So hey, even like when he goes live, you may not have to be there. You can just create your account, leave the tab open, see how that goes. That way, the people that are there, they can have access to it.
Really cool.
Discord, it should already be there. And then I don't know if it might be available on YouTube. I'd really want that to be the case. That way,
That'd be cool.
I can just pump them out and start making some more of them. Start sending them to him, and then see what he can do and see what he can do on this side. I don't know if I would make one about you or me because I don't think anyone would use them. Yeah. Last thing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but earlier today, only on AFN this time. We're not on Mad Mike anymore. Reason being, we're trying to prioritize you to really subscribe to some of these other channels. On here, you're gonna get some more of my content along with Daivon. This is where everyone else will start pumping up. The heavy hitters, they'll still be on here. But as far as every other show, you go to their respective channels now. So if you're not subscribed to K Styles, if you're not subscribed to Jude Talk Sports, if you're not subscribed to Twisted Torch, if you're not joining in on J Rock's Conversations, and the likes of those ones, hey, let's mention some more of them. Ricondo, Real Falcons fan, shout out to him. Shout out to Forever I Love Atlanta Sports podcast show with Tyrone. Shout out to Atlanta Sports Unlimited. I gave you guys a good show this morning. I was able to listen into it as I was at work. Reckley, he doesn't have a channel, but you can just catch him on here like you normally do. First and Frame Rates. Go give him a look. I know they're not really technically affiliated with us, but Locked On Falcons with Aaron Freeman. They're the guys responsible for like the SP Nation or Secret Bases channel. So, not sponsored, but I just wanted to give those shout outs to those guys. I'm totally not getting paid by anyone else that I just shouted out to. Just free everything. That's apparently that's all you're gonna get from me. But yeah, defense. Think about it. Focus it on your own time. See if you can come up with something new to give to us so that we can all talk about in the next one. We're gonna go on for a little bit longer then, hopefully, if Daivon's feeling like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. He said. All right. It's been fun. So.
Yes, it has.
Thank y'all for liking this idea. Like I said, the only spot you can find is here. So I'm not one to be this kind of person to say subscribe, as you can tell from my other streams. I don't mention the like buttons and whatnot, all that kind of stuff, because I think, like I said, hey, comments are more important to me than anything. It provides me actual feedback. It provides me to let me know, like, hey, is there anything that we're talking about that we're not talking about that you want us to talk about? Hey, spitball some ideas at us, even after the comments section. Hey, I'm paying attention. So, and I can be the responsible for setting this up. Like I said, I got markers, I got erasers. So if you want me to draw something up, I might maneuver a better setup than what it is right here. But yeah, I am not afraid to draw stuff. Just don't judge me for how it looks, okay? But that is all for us, guys. Good night. See you soon. And let's hope everyone else in the NFC South loses.
Yes.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.